Most people think cutting off family is an act of rebellion, immaturity, or ego. That's a comfortable lie, because it lets families ignore the one thing they cannot face, their role in the harm they caused. People don't wake up one morning and casually erase their bloodline. Estrangement is almost always the silent climax of years of psychological warfare, and the ones who leave usually tried everything else first. Let's be clear, family is where a human first learns what love feels like. But when that place becomes a source of fear, humiliation, control, or neglect, the nervous system adapts to survive. Children in these environments don't think, this is abuse. They think, this is normal. They excuse it, they rationalize it, they internalize blame. They grow up believing that pain is part of connection, that being hurt is just a price you pay for love. People who eventually cut off family aren't impulsive. They're often the most patient, the quiet ones in the system. The ones who tolerated disrespect longer than they should have, who explained themselves too many times, who forgave without repair. Psychologically, they're trapped between two instincts, the need for attachment and the need for self-preservation. Estrangement only happens when self-preservation finally wins, and it rarely comes quietly. Many estranged individuals were trapped in roles assigned to them early in life: the scapegoat, the emotional caretaker, the invisible one, the strong one who was never allowed to break. Families resist change. Boundaries are seen as threats. Pressure increases. Guilt, shame, emotional blackmail. You're too sensitive. Family is everything. How could you do this to us? These phrases are not love. They are tools of control, and they reinforce a system built on fear and compliance. Every interaction with toxic family can feel like stepping into the same trap over and over. Anxiety before calls, exhaustion after visits, the constant shrinking of yourself to be tolerated. Eventually, the mind connects the pattern. Distance is the only way to stop the bleeding. And it is rarely just one event. It is 1,000 small cuts over years. Estrangement comes with grief, deep and complicated grief. Cutting off family means mourning people who are still alive, letting go of the fantasy that one day they will understand, apologize, or change. Hope becomes more painful than loss. Leaving isn't easy, it is costly, but staying can cost something much greater: your identity, your mental health, your sense of self. Outsiders rarely understand this. Many estranged individuals carry guilt for years after leaving. Society glorifies family loyalty without questioning family behavior. The person who leaves is painted as cold or selfish, while the system that harmed them is left unexamined. Internal conflict lingers. Am I the problem? Even when the evidence screams otherwise. Healing isn't about empowerment slogans. It's about learning to trust your perception again, one quiet step at a time. Cutting off family doesn't automatically bring peace. It brings silence. And silence can terrify someone whose life was spent managing other people's emotions. Loneliness, self-doubt, the fear of becoming heartless, these are all normal. But over time, something shifts. The nervous system calms. Hypervigilance fades. You start hearing your own thoughts without interruption. You start existing without shrinking. Psychologically, estrangement is not aggression. It is the enforcement of boundaries that were never respected. It is what happens when therapy fails, compromise fails, and self-erasure becomes the only alternative. Some families interpret distance as punishment. In reality, it is often the last form of self-respect left, a silent act of survival. Here's the myth that makes everyone uncomfortable. Shared DNA does not guarantee safety, love, or accountability. Healthy families do not need fear, guilt, or obligation to stay connected. When someone walks away, the question is not, how could they do this? The real question is, what made it staying unbearable?
Not everyone who cuts off family is healed or enlightened. Estrangement is not a moral trophy. Sometimes it's a pause. Sometimes it's permanent. Sometimes it's the only way to survive long enough to rebuild yourself. It is not revenge. It is reclaiming the right to exist without being emotionally sabotaged by the people who were supposed to protect you. And finally, if this resonates with you, or if you've ever felt trapped, controlled, or invisible in your own family, take a moment to subscribe and explore more about the psychology of human relationships. Understanding your mind isn't just interesting, it's survival. Because once you recognize the patterns, you can finally start protecting yourself.